Did you chase down Halley's Comet in a spaceship named after an imperialist war criminal only to unwittingly find a trio of naked space vampires who you just had to bring back onto the Churchill? Did the comely female space vampire psychically call out to you to open her space case and mix energies with her before sucking all of your crew members dry, turning them into desiccated husks? Were these naked vampires then brought back to Earth despite your best attempt to prevent this, laying waste to London and leaving it on the brink of thermonuclear sterilization? If so, you may have just spent an absurd amount of time watching Matilda May waltz around a film au naturel in the Unkind Rewind, where we watched the 1985 cautionary space travel tale, Lifeforce.
Thrill me.
I'm gonna name you Coda. You get a name too, Podo.
His name is Happy Harry Hardon. He's a total sex maniac.
Of course.
Welcome to the Unkind Rewind, where this week we again break a little from the routine and are joined by a returning guest, but without having discussed his memories of the film prior to getting together to talk about it.
Fan favorite, you might say.
And favorite, yes.
Fan favorite.
Fan favorite. Greetings from a war-torn Minnesota, which still stands as of this recording, where I, Josh Dugan, have been strapped screaming to a gurney and am awaiting the kiss of a man who thinks I've got a familian inside of me. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sean McGrath, who, much to the surprise of his superiors, just let a naked girl walk out of the complex. Sean, have you thanked your lucky stars you were spared?
I don't know if spared's the word we're going to use today in any capacity.
Okay.
I don't think that's not the first thing that came to mind in terms of like what
Restraint wasn't involved here?
How I would state how I feel at the end of this movie. Yeah, I mean, thank God, Josh, you're still with us. I know that you've formed a ragtag group of revolutionaries in the Minnesota area.
Yeah.
Yelling out Wolverines every time you destroy a military blockade or...
Only unlike in that film, it's not the Nicaraguans who are coming for us. It's our government.
Yeah. There used to be... What all that hate's going to burn you up, Josh.
Yeah.
Keeps me warm. I think C. Thomas Howell said that. Keeps me warm. I'm doing okay post Lifeforce.
We live in a post Lifeforce world, don't we?
There certainly are some segments of New York City around where I live that certainly resemble like the Chancery Lane Underground stop, which they went full apocalypse on over there in London. With I gotta say, some ghost effects that feel really copied and pasted from Ghostbusters when the vault gets loose.
Yeah.
A lot of wispy blue energy.
Well, it was like halfway between the Ghostbusters effects and Highlander.
Yeah, that's
the quickening.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to say, "Oh, it's like Ghostbusters," because Ghostbusters deserves so much better. But yeah, it does. It does have. I haven't quite seen that kind of energy, but everything else feels pretty much the same. People, hanging on the edges of car windows, arms falling off.
Yeah.
Arms twitching after they fall off.
Sure. Because they're zombified.
Yeah. It was really unclear, kind of, just from the start of this, who was instructed to behave like a vampire and who was instructed to behave like a zombie.
Yeah.
Oh, you think there were instructions about
Can we
that?
get on the same page, people?
Yes.
Can we just get on the same page for one scene? Anyway.
That's probably there's something lost in translation between Texan and English. So.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We have a
now
special
this
guest.
week, we have musician and podcaster Conan Neutron, returning to the Unkind Rewind. Conan, have you commingled your life force with any space vampires lately?
Yeah, it's average Saturday. Yeah, Lifeforce is pretty wild. I mean,
It sure is.
There's a lot of movie here.
There's many movies here.
Yeah.
Plural.
Is it coherent? No. Is it tonally sound? Not really. Is it forgettable? Oh, absolutely not.
No. You'll never forget at least part of this movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, get into that with the background on it. But
oh yeah.
There's so much here, and it's so strange. It's such a strange movie in the way that when you first watch it, you just like what,
Yeah.
and it presents as something that it is not in multiple ways.
Yes.
Not all of them unenjoyable, but
Right.
wow,
Yeah.
it's amazing how
There's-
much money was thrown at this. Is what I'll start with.
There's so little intentional humor in this movie as well. Everyone has just kind of pot committed on this being the biggest movie of the year in their minds.
Your mic
the
is
most-
cutting in and out, Sean.
Oh, is it?
Or like going like loud soft, so I'm not sure what's happening, but
Okay, well, I can always regulate that later. But anyway, yeah, I mean, there's so many points, and Conan just kind of mentioned it. What is going on here? What is this movie?
It's a common question.
What is happening? Well, how much plot exposition dumping do we need right now? I don't have... Again, I didn't know about this movie. This is new to me.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to hear your take on it because of it.
yeah.
Coming into it fresh, seeing as many movies as I've seen, I still can't explain what I just witnessed. I can't
Yeah.
explain it.
Yeah.
I tell you what you have to explain is when you're watching it with your friend's house
Oh.
on VHS and mom walks in.
Mom is...
When
yeah.
Matilda May is just sitting there buck naked, holding court or whatever, and try to explain what's going on. Okay, that's it. Not to give you a little preview of my background, because that actually is a real thing that happened.
Conan, why don't you tell the listeners who have forgotten what they heard back when you joined us early on to revisit, pump up the volume, or last year, a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So as mentioned in the intro, I'm a longtime musician, touring and recording. In fact, there's a tour with Red Cross happening largely in the Southwest and other areas for March to April, and a couple shows with Mike Watt before that as well.
Nice.
That are just announced. I also podcast weekly for a show that's been around for 11 years called Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. It's a one-on-one music interview show that is very... it's pretty well respected for that genre of whatever that is. And then, of course, I'm co-host and senior producer on the movie show Movie Night Extravaganza, which now both of you guys have been on. And that is a long-running movie show, very reverent, fast-paced, but coming from an informed place as well. That's been going for, I think, about 5 years now. I'd check to see. And live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm from Oakland, California. Before that, I grew up in the Central Valley of California, which is closer to Nebraska than any organized metropolitan area.
Yes.
And one of my big escapes in a cultureless dead zone, if you will, was both music and the local video store, where we could pick up movies of all shapes, styles, and varieties, including lots of genre stuff, meaning horror and sci-fi, of which this one, with its very inauspicious looking cover that doesn't really tell you what the movie's going to be about,
Sure does.
was one of them. and me and my friend Clay, who sadly has passed on, but was my best friend. He's the cover of the first Secret Friends record is a stylized painting from David Yao, the Jesus Lizard, of a photo that he and I took in high school. We had a thing where we would, if we knew about it, we would get the worst movie we saw and the best movie we saw. This is Clay's doing, and we would watch the worst movie first.
Okay.
And then watch the best movie first. And the theory was that the good movie would be even better after watching the terrible movie. So
I bet the good movie wasn't better after this one.
This one we just didn't know. Here's what we knew. We knew it's the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist.
Yeah.
And it's like a big budget sci-fi movie. And we were like, stop right there. You've made the sale. Like, we were all in. We're like, that. There's no way that's not badass. Oh my God, I can't wait to watch it like right now.
So back then you would say, oh, Tobe Hooper? Poltergeist?
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Say less.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, you'd be like, say so much more.
Say, please, give I
Please
need to
tell
come
me.
armed with
You're gonna-
information
yeah.
here. Yeah, no. We didn't know. I mean, we didn't
Now-
have IMDb even.
Right.
You know, I mean, we
So
didn't have
the VHS
Letterboxd.
version that you would have seen, would it have been...
The shorter version.
Yeah, okay. Yes, because there's a 101-minute cut that TriStar released stateside, and then the international cut is 15 minutes longer.
Right. And
I saw that
so...
this time.
Yeah,
Right.
we all
And
saw that, I'm sure.
That's what we watched this last time.
Yeah.
I decided to give Lifeforce another chance 15 years ago. When I heard that, I'm like, oh, maybe it's a coherent movie with this longer cut. Nah,
No.
not really. Is it
and
longer?
Tobe Hooper
Oh,
had
yes,
another
yes, it
cut
is.
that was, 12 minutes longer, I think. That was
Yeah.
his, director's cut that they slashed. There's also a lot of Matilda May footage that was left on the cutting room floor because the editor decided it was too pornographic.
Yeah.
Like her walking down the stairs was like, oh, Jesus.
Can we get more shadows, please? Yeah.
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 Conan, do you remember the movie, the companion piece to this, when you rented Lifeforced? Was there a time...
I was curious about this, too.
Oh, it would have been cool if I wrote all that stuff down.
Did you think Lifeforce was going to be the bad movie of the two?
No, we thought it was going to be the good movie. That's
Okay.
that's the thing. So we had a movie that was like, real, Waxwork 2 or something, like
Okay.
whatever, and we had Lifeforce.
Mission to Moscow.
Yeah, exactly. We had that's how I saw a lot of like the Hammer horror movies and stuff like
Sure.
that too. The Jar, Basket Case, things along those lines, like stuff that I don't know. Is the best use of my time? I don't know. This is how we used our time. Some of them were great. Some of them are really good. I saw every Puppet Master, I think, till 5. Dollman
That's
versus Demonic Toys.
At least 3 too many.
Oh my God! Yeah, no. I like if without this exercise, what do you think I would have watched that crap? No, of course not.
Yeah.
But
Josh,
here
the
they
two
are.
movies you discussed...
How much stock footage in this one? Sorry, Sean.
Josh, the two movies you discussed on Movie Night Extravaganza with Conan were Jackie Brown and...
I've been on Thrice.
Oh, Thrice.
That's
So
right.
the other two were...
You filled in for me.
The Love Witch and what can I think now? Jesus
Okay.
Christ, my brain short-circuited.
So at least Jackie Brown and Love Witch.
Yeah.
And then
What
whatever...
was the third one?
Oh,
whatever
Long Goodbye.
shorts-
Long Goodbye. Yeah.
I came on recently and talked about Memories of Murder. I mean, all ostensibly good, fun watches.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You could make an argument that some of these are masterpiece movies,
Yes.
and yet Conan comes on our show, and well, fuck you, Conan, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, bud.
Can you give me something completely incoherent with a surprising amount of nudity? Great.
Like we couldn't bring Conan on for Paris, Texas, or something. We have to bring him on for Lifeforce.
Well, and we have a thing on Movie Night Extravaganza, and it's a very inscrutable logic, but I personally don't like talking about movies. I like giving big ups for movies that I like or I think are interesting to discuss. And I don't really like slagging things off. Sure. I love slagging things off, but that's not what I think the format of the show
Right.
is best suited for. And so we have sometimes we'll cover stuff that's incredibly obscure and genre fair, and so, but it's usually because there's something really cool about this, or maybe it's underseen, or
it's germane to your monthly topic.
Sure, it
if
fits the
that's
theme of
case.
what we're
Yeah.
talking about. I could never foresee any situation that Lifeforce would come up. That's why I was kind of like, yeah, man, because there's a lot of things to say about this, but like having nothing to discuss about it wouldn't be one of them. There's where to begin.
There's so many different ways to interpret a bad movie. Like this movie is, arbitrarily very bad. Does it give us a lot to talk about? Sure. Josh and I have had movies on this podcast where we've had bad movies, and it has been an absolute chore to.
It's like the Baton Death March or something to get through it. Yeah,
you know, one of them has dinosaurs in it. One of them is about.
One of them costs so much more than this.
One of them costs so much more than this.
Well, two of them, Space Jam costs more than this too.
Space Jam was not. Josh, I want to speak for you here. Space Jam was not our favorite movie of all time.
No.
Okay.
No,
I mean, let's just say that. And I know that when we had those episodes, it was hard for us to kind of rein in how we felt about the movie and still kind of keep it. I mean, this Lifeforce is so different than those two in that the vexing, the sheer batshitedness of it all is so much more attractive for me as a discussion topic.
It's interesting. Like, regardless of whether it's good, it is inarguably interesting.
Agreed.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, because think from the base term of just the concept. It's heady conceptually, right? It's ultimately this is based off of a book called Space Vampires.
Yeah.
Which makes so much more sense as a title, right? The
studio didn't want it. Canon didn't want to go with it.
You know, fine.
They thought that it sounded too much like the shitty other genre fare that they'd been releasing, and so they wanted to have like a separation between.
They wanted to be elevated, which explains a lot. They may not have that may not have been the phrase.
I mean, they still ran out of money to film this. There's still like all of the stuff with the male vampires never got shot. Basically,
there's so much on screen where it's like, did you need to have that many explosions? Like,
because they went over by 5 fucking weeks. They had a 17-week shoot planned and went over by 5 weeks. They, by almost a third of the production schedule, they went over.
And that's a long shoot. Josh, do you want to give a little bit of background before we kind of break into this?
Before we get too close to the comet, where can our listeners find you, Conan?
Oh
yeah. So, okay. So I'm at Conan Neutron, most everything. Facebook begrudgingly, Instagram. Actually, it's just Neutron and Blue Sky. X the Everything app, sure. All those things. NeutronFriends.bandcamp.com.
For your Japanese fans.
Mostly for the Japanese, you're right.
Yeah.
NeutronFriends.bandcamp.com. The Bandcamp's probably the best place to find our music because that's where we actually see a shekel or two. But it's on Spotify and Apple Music, all that stuff. You can buy records, T-shirts, CDs, all that kind of thing there.
Do you know when the next Bandcamp Friday is?
I don't. And they're being really weird about announcing.
You never hear about it until the day before. It's kind of odd. At least as a casual I don't have a Bandcamp account that I'm posting stuff on.
Yeah. It's like a pop-up store or something now.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing. But Protonic Reversal, ProtonicReversal.com, weekly podcast, $1 a month advance access on the Patreon. Of course, Movie Night Extravaganza, movienightextravaganza.com. Tuesdays, stream live, podcasted later. Sean was the warm-up act to both Adam McKay and Josh Olson this month.
Yeah.
So,
is it weird that I know Josh Olson mostly from the West Wing thing?
Considering your other show, no. Not at all.
I was like, oh shit, Josh Olsen's going to be on. And then I was like, no one's going to care about the Josh Olson that I have a relationship to, which is shitting on the West Wing. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
He's great. I mean, he's also wrote History of Violence, which is one of my favorite Latter-day Cronenbergs.
Yes.
And Adam McKay had been on before.
Yes, and that was more of a that was more of an
open
interview
convo kind of
conversation, and then this is he more or less invited himself back on that show because we were talking. I don't know why we started talking about Fellini, but it's me. So we started talking about how much I love Nights of Cabiria, which he loved. Because I said it reminded me more. Nora reminded me more of Nights of Cabiria than Pretty Woman. Because people at the time were like, "Oh, Nora, it's just Pretty Woman." I'm like, "Have you seen either of these movies, moron?" But anyway,
one of them's good.
Right, exactly.
Given how incestuous both our podcasts are, Conan, it's only a matter of time before Adam McKay wanders over to the Unkind Rewind to talk about fucking, toy soldiers or something.
Right? Yeah. Absolutely, man. Well, and there was a great in the interview episode. We just started talking about 2000 noise rock bands, 2000 era noise rock bands for about 5 minutes, and the others were just like, and I was like, okay, we got to get off this topic because this is like really fun for us.
Yeah, this is a two-person conversation with 5 of us on air. Yeah,
exactly. But everyone was like, no, that was badass. I'm like, well, cool. I just felt like weird about us basically having a private conversation about bands you've never heard of.
Right.
Well, we've had like 9 baseball writers on the show.
Dude, you've had a lot of baseball representation.
Yeah.
This
Josh,
is interesting.
Josh is
There's another, at least one in the can. There are a few more that
we've almost exhausted all living baseball writers at this point. So
we sure haven't. I promise.
And you
haven't.
haven't. There have been a lot of baseball movies, though.
No,
covered,
and
which
they've never talked about a baseball movie, right?
No, they won't talk about anything other than that. I get it. Last thing I would ever want to be on as a guest for is a musical biopic. Because first of all, my least favorite genre.
Yeah.
Well,
though you did like. Oh, God damn it!
Walk Hard?
What was it? No. There was something you
Song Sung Blue.
Maybe no. I don't feel like it was Song Sung Blue.
I can just keep yelling at
year.
movie titles. What do you want? Yeah.
I thought.
Well, I thought Song Sung Blue was great.
Yeah. Oh, it was just biopics in general. Sorry, it was. You like both of the Linklater.
Oh, they were fantastic.
Yeah,
they're like two of my
they're not
movies,
really biopics. They're more like, little
bio-adjacent. They're
Well, and they both do the thing that I prefer, which is you focus on a certain segment of time,
right,
rather than trying to tell somebody's entire life story.
Sure. Though I suspect that the new Nebraska movie isn't that good, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. But anyway, yeah. I mean, like that's
well, maybe we can get somebody to come on and talk about a baseball movie. I know that we did this in kind of a demo, Josh, but we got some new Timothy Busfield news.
Oh yeah,
star of Little Big League
and of Russian Brides, the SVU episode we did. Like, he was in the SVU that was supposed to air this past Thursday. They had to pull it.
Oh man. Yeah,
they're having to shelve this because of Busfield.
Great time to be either Timothy Busfield or star of another kid baseball movie, Rookie of the Year, Daniel Stern. Losing work right now. Because,
because he saw a sex worker, right?
He solicited a prostitute.
Well, there you go. I'd be surprised if like Bull Durham or The Natural didn't come up on someone's list for.
Oh yeah, they'll show up, and Major League will, I'm sure. Although Major League is so rewatchable that it's going to take a while to find someone who hasn't seen it in the last,
That's one
years.
that you've seen at least 4 times if you ever had cable.
Right. I've seen it like
on.
45 times, but.
Well, we're not going to talk about baseball.
No. So in a funny wrinkle, this episode was actually born from the comments of one of our former guests, Jeremy Steen. Yeah. His review on Letterboxd. He's Dogs Be Out on Letterboxd.
And he was our
his review was
guest.
That was a great episode, yeah.
Yeah, the Beastmaster, fantastic, fun stuff. But his review for this was, in space, no one can hear you bust. which made you kind of give a tip of the hat, Conan. And you said you hadn't seen this in a long time.
Yeah.
Which did lead Jeremy to say, if only there were some sort of podcast you could go on wherein you could discuss said film and your reappraisal and such.
Yeah.
Hard wink.
Conan, what was your history with this film?
Well, like I said, we had Clay and I had our ritual where we would rent 2 movies and then we'd pick the one that looked obviously terrible and one that we thought was going to be badass. This was in the latter category.
Okay.
Because we were a huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre fans and fans of Poltergeist as well. And it was just like when you hear it described to you, you're like, oh, this can't miss. Yeah, there's no way this can miss. And fast forward to us watching this movie, and his mom comes in and one of the many Matilda May just holding court, buck naked.
I think she's fully nude on screen for 7 minutes of screen time.
It's a lot. It feels like more.
I was going to say, this doesn't even feel like his mom came in at the worst possible time, because that's the whole movie.
It's like a third of the movie is what it felt like, right? And to be clear, we were surprised. Me and Clay, we were surprised by it, but being teenage boys, we weren't mad about it. It just was like, oh wow, this is not what I thought this was going to be, but okay. And we came away with it, and this would have been the shorter cut, being like, huh. Like, it wasn't like we hated it, but it was like, that was very much not what we expected. And I didn't really think about it for a long time, but every once in a while I'd be like, oh yeah, that's crazy. That was like that dude's like third big movie that he did. That wasn't like some indie affair. That's like really strange. And then it honestly probably led me to not explore a lot of Tobe Hooper's latter day material.
Sure.
Because I was like, oh, Lifeforce though. Ooh. And then when they announced the, hey, we got the director's cut, whenever this was.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, cool. So my natural inclination was maybe it's more coherent as a movie if there was a lot of stuff that was cut out for various reasons. Although I was like, what the hell did they cut out? None of the nudity, apparently. And I watched that and I was like, well, it's definitely longer.
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, I guess I had it right the first time. You know, Matilda May, lovely young woman. You know, there's worse things to see on your screen.
Sure.
But just baffling movie. And then I didn't think about it for years and years and years and years and years. And then I think I saw it's a bit of a cheat. I'm glad it's not the normal motif, because I think when we did still have cable about 4 years ago, one of the movie channels had like a scene from it. I was like, oh shit, is this Lifeforce?
Yeah.
And I watched about 5 minutes of it and I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I turned it off. But I basically have done 3 full watches, one of which was last night on Tubi, the people's platform.
Yes. Sean, did you have a history with Lifeforce?
Only the NES game by Konami. Lifeforce was a side-scrolling,
like Gradius. It was like Gradius.
It was like Gradius. Yeah, you could play with a friend, so it was either one spaceship or two, and you were going through kind of a space body. Like it was a little bit of like is it Fantastic
like
Voyage? No, like an actual body. Like
I was thinking like inner
okay,
space. Is that like the Dante
yeah,
movie.
there's like an inner space to it. Like you fight an eye on the end of a intestine. But also one of the few games that honored the Konami code of up, down, left, right, BA, start, or if you have 2 people, select start, which would give you the 30 lives. And it was certainly a game that you needed the 30 lives to get through, because it was just shit flying at you nonstop. Yeah. I did not know that this movie existed. I was kind of hoping for a soft adaptation of the video game, to be honest.
That would be kind of badass.
So I feel, I feel a little bit like the kid at the lunch table that just doesn't know what all the cool kids know, because Lifeforce just should absolutely have been a movie that I knew of and watched a million times, and I was sick that day or whatever it was, where my peers were talking about it. I was just out with the flu and I missed the whole Lifeforce conversation. And then once they had exhausted it, they were like, there's no need to bring this up ever again. Let's all take a blood oath to not bring this up at future lunch table meetings. And Sean's just out of luck. I think that's what happened, because I probably would have lost a sizable amount of money if you said, hey, Sean, is there a movie called Lifeforce? I would have said no. So that's how in the dark I was.
Yeah.
What, a week or so ago, or whenever this was kind of propositioned?
It's a forgettable name too, though. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the kind of the direct to video sequel of Starman or something, right?
Exactly. I know what that is.
So now that I'm out of the darkness and into the light, my whole life probably will change. There's so many things now that I'll just look at differently. Uh-huh. I think I'll look at, like...
You'll never look at London the same.
No, certainly not Chancery Lane Metro Underground stuff. But I certainly will have a different reaction to very small-waisted, big-breasted women walking slowly downstairs.
Yeah.
And I take a lot of subway rides.
And you see a lot of weird stuff. But...
I see a lot of stuff, and how I react now, I think, will change, for good or bad.
So I've just seen this one time before, I think. They did it for How Did This Get Made a long time ago, like probably 10 years ago. And I watched it because they had done it, and so I watched it to, have seen the film before they did the episode.
Oh, I'll say real quickly before you get into that. Mm-hmm. One of the huge reasons that I didn't see this is because it was never covered on Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is how a lot of like B movies, C movies, F movies became entered my world, I think there's no controversy as to the reasoning behind a bunch of guys in Minnesota on a cable access new comedy show didn't cover this movie.
Yeah. You can't clip out. You can't. I mean, you can't work around the broadcast issues,
right? But you know, American Ninja and Manos Hands of Fate and Santa Claus Saves the Easter Bunny or whatever the hell. All those movies and all that, you know, in heavy quotes here, trash because one man's trash. Came into my life through the guys at Mystery Science Theater 3000, and I think had they covered this, and God, I wish they would, I would have known about it. But again, I was in the dark.
If you cut out all the nudity, that would be about 5 minutes long. So
I know. You can do it as like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 short.
Yeah.
Because I do cover short sometimes before the feature attraction.
But yeah, I just seen it, I believe, the one time. I mean, it left an impression. Most of the impressions the first half of the movie. I honestly had nearly forgotten the entire second half of the movie. I didn't remember London getting laid waste to. Didn't remember that at fucking all.
Can I say I forgot to mention it? Same. Like I was shocked by how much of the, I'm gonna use air quotes here, plot that I had forgotten about in the back half. Like I was just I remember the ending.
Is it because they waited until about a hour 20 into it to kind of drop the plot in that long exposition that has kind of staring off into the darkness?
In Tobe Hooper's extra cut, they're not off the Churchill until like minute 36.
Yeah. It's like there's like a lot more space stuff.
Because they do a lot in this movie of flashback. Here's what happened, and if, Josh, to your point, I'm thinking that's how they all saw that in the first 36 minutes.
They moved the flashback stuff forward in the film to like break it up a little bit because it was too space heavy in the beginning, which is crazy. Like it's crazy that the previous iteration of this was we're just in space for fucking over half an hour.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be a space epic for a super long time. Then now we're just hanging out in England, huh? Okay.
And because we're talking about like that component of it, they handle space so cheaply and artificially. And granted, like they're not going to Apollo 13 and go shoot these guys in 0G, but like you know, speaking of a movie also written by Dan O'Bannon,
Alien.
How does Alien look so much better than this? Yeah. Being, 6 years earlier? Yeah. How does so many other movies made before Lifeforce for less money look better than these? I mean, it looked like they had kind of done
like magazine... Part of it looked animated.
Yes. Yeah. It looked like they did like magazine cutouts of these guys in their spacesuits.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of like zipped them across the screen like some type of,
on strings.
Junior high school
on
film
fishing
project.
Line. Yeah.
There's no thrusters to this thing. Like
I was shocked by that.
Stuff looks really, really cheap.
But you know what doesn't look cheap?
It's like the dinosaur effects from
Matilda May.
I mean, in a way, you have to go, how does a woman kind of that thin have measurements like that?
Well, it's because she's 19.
Is she really 19?
Yeah. She turned 19 on the set. Her birthday was the fifth day of production.
So the second 19-year-old being sexually objectified that we've done on the show in a row.
Yeah. Wasn't it something like...
Shout out John Borman. And your daughter.
That was his daughter. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yep.
She was like, that was when she was covered in blood, right? Was that the day that was her birthday? If I remember correctly.
Oh, God. I mean, okay, so just, there's a woman.
So it's like, happy birthday.
Matilda May's birthday. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Not the.
Do we know anything about Matilda May? I didn't dig into it, but
she was a French actress. She had 2 French credits before this, and then she sort of had a breakout in France with The Cry of the Owl.
Of course, everyone's seen that multiple times.
She won a Caesar Award for most promising actress or something.
Do we know if she appeared,
which was 2 years after,
prior to this movie?
I don't believe so, because I think she only had 2 credits before this.
This movie has all the makings of a nudity will be requested at callbacks type of feel to it, right? Like every now and again as an actor, there would be some kind of skeezy audition posting, and then in very small print in parentheses it would say nudity may be requested at callbacks. And to any actress out there or actor,
This happened to her.
I would say get fucked if you ever come across that. They do not need to see you naked.
Yeah.
Even if there's nudity in a play. And fuck it, I've done nudity in a play. Dalton. Nudity. But I'd be enraged to the point of just telling them to, get fucked. If they asked me for that at a audition process.
There's no on-screen nudity in Deep Dark, right? I can't remember.
No. I don't think there's female nudity in that. I don't think there is.
But for you, there was no on-screen in Deep Dark.
No. I have to mime a lot of sex stuff.
Yes.
But somebody once said, like, "Oh man, did you really have to fuck that blank?
Hole?
I don't want to, fuck that hole." And I was like, "Yeah, they made me fuck the hole." Let me give you the book of like how filmmaking is done, and then you can read it and come back to me. They made me fuck it. Good job.
Insane, but
getting away from whole fucking.
I've recommended this before, but people should actually watch Deep Dark. I do really genuinely like.
Yeah, check out Deep Dark. Yeah, go for it.
It's fun, and you're the fucking star of this film.
Yeah. 2013 dark psycho.
Yeah.
Thriller. Yeah, with the voice of Aeon Flux as my lead.
I'm putting it on my watch list right now.
I can't remember. Diane or Daphne. But anyway, getting back to our... And this was so funny. I didn't really notice how they were going to do this. The credits come out of nowhere. Like the end credits in this movie, you're just like, oh, there they are.
Yeah, there is everybody.
End credits. And she is credited as Space Girl.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Not even Space Vampire.
Nope.
Space Girl.
Well, that's giving away too much if you're looking at the credits wherever in 1985.
They don't really use a name for her, right? She's so often just talked about as she.
Yeah.
Or, she's
well,
very
because
she
is woman.
She is woman.
Yeah.
There is no...
Well, and to be fair, they don't name the dudes either. That there are 2 dude vampires in this movie too. That like nobody like really remembers.
In terms of screen time, though, Conan, like we have Marsha May, Mary Marlene, whatever the fuck her name is,
Matilda May.
Matilda May is all over this movie from start to finish.
Oh yeah,
and even when we kind of get her in her final form in the white tunic
and the diaphanous.
Yeah. The diaphanous, very clear that it's a cold room.
Yeah.
On set. That I was like, oh, okay, well, at least we're ending with her kind of clothed. Nope. I just had to. I spoke way too soon. I jinxed.
But we do get to see Peter.
Yeah, we get to see him.
Not Peter Firth. Sorry, Railsick or whatever. Steve Railsick.
Yeah,
Railsback. Steve Railsback. We do get to see him. We get to see his ass.
Back. Yeah.
Are you talking about just butt shot of Steve Railsback?
Yeah, I mean, both naked. Right?
Okay,
but,
sure.
But it's naked. But
I'm upset we didn't get to see Space Vampire Dong, but
yeah.
Especially when they were walking in through like the worst secured like British medical testing site of all time. They just sort of do their their like naked strut.
Yep.
Eating bullets.
Yep.
We don't even get to see like Shadow Dong there. And I know that this podcast among probably all the movie podcasts are one of the ones that argues most for equal opportunity nudity.
Yeah. I thought Kinds of Kindness was a cop out that we didn't get to see Defoe's dick in that one. Not that I it's like you build it up this much, you might as well fucking show it at that point.
As Josh would say,
so to speak.
You got to give something for the ladies.
Yep.
And the fellas.
Yep.
I do think it's great that they had to glue rubber soles to the bottom of Matilda May's feet because all the broken glass.
Oh my god, yeah, it's
well,
John
and to have her
McClane.
walk out because it's through the walking out to the grass through the grass too. So like it's crazy that they had to glue rubber soles to her feet though. Like
they gave Bruce Willis like fake rubber feet. in Die Hard, and
Okay.
Matilda May only got souls.
She didn't rate, I guess. She
Can
also
we talk? Go ahead.
I was gonna say this notable that she basically learned English on the set and learned how her lines phonetically.
Yeah.
Which
and then
is
by the end of it had a London accent.
right. But I think that one of the things I think that's kind of cool about the movie is that her manner of speech is so strange and so kind of just distinctly otherworldly that when I learned that, I'm like, oh, that makes sense because she just learned it phonetically. And that actually adds to what little character there is. That kind of adds to the character of Space Girl. Space Girl, everybody. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Big ups to Space Girl.
I don't know. So we think that she was not ADR'd by another non-French
She wasn't.
performer? Okay.
Not from what I can tell. It's there's no one credited. There's no notes about it. It sounds like she was. It was her voice. Yes.
Do either of you guys have an association with the actual lead of this movie, the aforementioned Steve Railsback?
Steve Railsback? I do not. I don't have a relationship to either him or Peter Firth.
Okay, so and he's the kind of curly-haired blonde SAS.
Yeah, he's Colonel King, the SAS guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter Firth is. Railsback is Colonel Carlson.
Steve Railsback studied at the Lee Strasberg Institute of Acting. Okay. He's got a decade of kind of New York stage credits. But this movie does him no favors.
Yeah.
He is so terrible in this movie. Yeah. Can he be good? Perhaps. I haven't seen it. I don't have any kind of empirical evidence that says this guy's a good actor. But if you were to base it on this, you would want your money back from Lee Strasberg in the Actors Studio.
Railsback was apparently had a bit part in The Line of Fire as a CIA agent, so I saw him in that. And I remember Storytelling, the Todd Solondz movie. Sure. He's in that. He's in that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some credits that I recognize,
but like I don't remember him in these roles. Like
no,
not at all.
He's very, very forgettable. He's forgettable. He's got a forgettable face. His voice sounds like if you were instructing Bill Paxton to sound dumber. And the fact that
are we talking Weird Science Bill Paxton, or are we talking Bill Paxton like post Predator 2?
Both these boys are from Texas, and there is that drawl that we hear in Steve Railsback, but he has such a annoying voice, annoying presence, and the fact that each and every scene he's just kind of cock-led to danger.
Yeah,
right.
Gets an entire.
It's a divining rod.
Yeah, at the cost of his entire crew, at the cost of an entire city.
Yep.
And even when we build up to this crescendo of, I know who this person is, I know exactly what they're going to do, I'm going to go confront them and destroy them once and for all. He's naked in 30 seconds after seeing her? Wrapped up, intertwined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having to kind of, talk about, a lot of double impalements, Josh, of late.
Yeah.
This is almost a double feature because last Unkind Rewind we were talking about Excalibur and the fight between Arthur and his son / nephew Mordred, and here in Lifeforce we have to do another double impalement.
Yeah.
With a sword, which I don't remember where this sword comes from or why this kind of octogenarian scientist is able to wield it so adeptly to kill one of the eugenic looking vampires or midway through the movie.
It's there. It looks cool. I guess that's all you need.
Do we remember where it came from? The vampire slaying sword?
No.
That was probably in a scene that
well, because he reports
didn't get filmed.
Sure, because he reports on the phone that I found out how to kill them. It's like what did it say? It's in the tales of old. You have to use a leaded weapon,
lead dipped iron, I believe.
Yeah. Not wood, but lead dipped iron, 2 inches below the heart at the focus of the chi. Which is like what? Who knows
bullshit.
that? Nobody knows that. Like, why is that a thing? The thing we all know. What are you talking about?
Are they being Do they think they're being highbrow where they're like, okay, we call this thing the space vampires. This is where like vampires of yore probably came from. Like all the legends are these space people, so that when people in the Middle Ages were talking about vampires, they're probably also talking about aliens, which is, I'm sure, the crux of that novel.
Yeah.
Right? That like, oh my God, this.
Yeah, because they're
time,
energy vampires in the novel. I assume
we were
Colin
talking
Robinson originated there.
Right. When we're talking about vampires, we were actually talking about aliens. Dun dun dun.
Right.
And yet, we have to not make it the heart. Like, we can't just fucking commit.
And the only thing that makes sense from anything from a folklore perspective is especially within England and the English Isles, like the idea of iron being repellent to like fae folk and ghosts and fairies and whatnot. But I don't know, being presented like, oh yeah, the thing that we all know. And like, also, where did you get that?
Where did you get that?
And how did you overpower this guy that clearly has like, superpowers compared to you by consideration? Again, no interest in explanation.
The scene may have been shot, looked so implausible and janky that they're like, let's just cut to the aftermath of Aryan vampire on a table with this thing kind of
it's good visual
through him. Yeah. And let's just let the audience believe that British Tony Bennett was able to wield it so adeptly to slay this vampire. I will say that like one of the by the way, I think they're calling him Hans Fallada.
Fallada, yeah.
Which is an author who wrote a book about like the Nazis from being in Germany. I don't know what we're trying to say there with that.
the Frank Finley characters we're talking about.
Yeah.
The which for people that don't know these guys by name because they don't personally know them, it's the guy with like the shock white hair. Yes. That's like the doctor.
Hair, the older kind of shorter, stout guy.
Who's I actually have seen in more stuff. He's got like parts in The Pianist. He's like that guy. Like he shows up
that
in
guy.
B tier stuff usually.
But he actually, to defend this movie very, very briefly, he had one of kind of the better special effect scenes with his face bubbling.
Yeah.
Which I actually thought was actually pretty well done.
I think the desiccated corpses kind of work too.
Maybe very briefly. It did feel
when they're moving.
Super
it's very Evil Dead to me, and I don't mean that as a compliment.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like when they're husks. Like
when they're husks, that's cool. Yeah,
I think that stuff works. I don't think the animated or whatever the fuck, practical effect of them moving as like zombies or whatever. I don't think that works that well.
But Josh, you'd be all in if I told you right before you die, your face will start bubbling. You'll say, "Here I go," and then your back will open up to expel a bunch of blue energy. Like you're down with that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's how it wants to go. Yeah, exactly.
Sign me up.
As opposed to laying in some hospital bed,
Well, it does adequately establish. I feel like there's more of it in this version, of more of his pursuit for finding out what happens after people die, which is such an unnecessary subplot. Like it's
right.
You don't need to know it at all. It doesn't matter.
There's so many like little things where it's like, okay, well, clearly you had in your mind a 3-hour version of this film.
Yeah.
Because you were able to shoot 2 hours and 8 minutes of movie that then you cut 12 minutes of, and then the US TriStar cut like another fucking 15 of.
Yeah. Most of which is space stuff. Yeah. But it's sort of like his whole thing. It's like, well, that's like, if that character was like the principal, rather than the Railsback character. Great.
Well, okay, that's also the other issue is that like this really doesn't have a like protagonist per se. Carlson disappears for like 20 minutes in this movie.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get the psychic connection thing where it's like, what? What are we doing?
I feel like we had this before, Josh, too, where it's like, are you saying Carson or Carlson? Because it feels interchangeable 100%. At this fucking point. There was a moment, I think, at the end where she's talking to him and she's like, Carlson, you've made it to me. It was always destined. I'm like, there's a fucking L in there?
Uh-huh. Well, because I think it's because of the way Kane says Carlson.
Yeah.
The way Peter Firth says it, that it sounds Carlson.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really tell.
No, and then
The L is like almost silent, just barely said when he says it.
I wish I could remember, like the movie that we've covered, Josh, where we kind of exposed this happening before, where it was like nobody got in the same room and was like, "All right, enough. This is how you say the name."
Right.
But it was something that we've covered where I was like, "Oh my god, they keep swapping this."
Yeah.
Famously, also to bring up Roadhouse again, the part played by Kevin Taihe as the owner of the Double Deuce, his last name is said probably 17 different ways. It's Frank Tilligman, it's Frank Tilleman, it's Frank Tileman.
Yeah.
And they just never had a consensus. Poor, Steve Railsback. No one did him the courtesy of saying, "Okay, everybody, let's just call him."
Where was the script supervisor?
Let's really hear the R or hear the L on Carlson.
And
the
I think
script supervisor is supposed to have cans on
and pay attention to that.
and it's supposed to be like making sure that this is happening.
And some of it may be ascribed to Peter Firth's accent. Okay, but yeah, I think you're right on that, Sean. By the way, Peter Firth, I looked this up, and I'm just, because I took the energy to look it up, I'm going to bring it up on air. Second lead behind Richard Burton for Equus, the Sidney Lumet movie. I have not seen that one.
Wow.
I haven't seen it either. I saw that was on his like CV, but I haven't seen it, so like I don't have a relationship to it.
I was like, I know those blonde curls. Like when he showed up in that in Lifeforce, I was like, God, those curls are familiar. But that he was Alan in Equus is by far his probably biggest role.
I mean, it's better than Captain Second Ivan Putin in Hunt for Red October, which is another thing he did later on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember him from that.
There's a lot of dudes in that movie, though. That's
a lot of dudes.
Top tier
Maybe the
dudes rock
dudes.
movie. Exactly.
I mean, to go from Equus, which critically beloved, to Lifeforce in just 8 years.
He did Tess in between there, which is a Polanski movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
And he didn't jump out at me as like the reason this movie doesn't work. Like,
no, I mean, sure, but it's also
Peter Firth is doing the best he can out there.
It's also one of those things when you think about what this is, and again, this to pause the conversation and talk about the expectations of what this was going to be, which they thought this was going to be one of the great sci-fi blockbusters, and they advertised it as such. They sunk money into it as such, and it's interesting to me that none of the leads are names.
Right. It's kind of the same as with Excalibur, honestly. Sure. Like obviously we just did Excalibur, but you've got probably the worst performance of anybody in the ostensible lead, but also in Excalibur, you had like, is he the lead? Like there's so much of the movie that that
Nigel
Arthur
Terry.
isn't in.
Nigel Terry,
odd.
Yeah.
Nigel Terry, yeah.
But you have people in Excalibur who would become big names.
Oh, Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart here
is in this, and you got to remember
Patrick Stewart was in both, actually.
Patrick Stewart. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Patrick Stewart. This is like a year after Dune, right?
Yeah.
And
Carter,
but it's.
Do you remember him showing up? Did you know that he was coming in Lifeforce?
This time
Other
I did.
than maybe the credit.
This time I did, but it was a Patrick Stewart jump scare when I saw it last time. I was like, oh right, he's in this movie.
Yeah.
I totally forgot because I remembered the character of it. Being like, oh, this is the doctor, the asylum. I remember that character because I remember the turnaround. Aha, but it's you, and like what?
Yeah,
but I just, to me, it was just like some guy, which is
Dr.
crazy.
Armstrong.
Which is crazy because I was pretty obsessed with Next Generation at the time.
Yeah.
So that means that I certainly noticed it when I saw it for the first time, but mentally redacted it until I saw it the second time, where I was then surprised by it and then retained the information for this watch.
I kept waiting for him, and I kept being like, wait, is this just like miscredited on IMDb? Because I had forgotten.
Nobody checked.
And I had seen his name and kept waiting, like, we're a fucking hour and 5 minutes. He's like the 5th credited actor. It's bonkers that we have not fucking seen him yet, because we've seen a lot of people. And then he shows up, and he has asked to do some very big things, including make out with
Yeah, I mean, there's
Make
a
out with
moment.
Steve Railsback.
There's a moment in this movie that you're talking about, specifically right now, where we're watching Patrick Stewart fastened to a table and writhe around, scream.
Yep.
And
Lots
it's
of shrieking.
almost like you want to, like, you know, bring up his resume that says Royal Shakespeare Company, 1966 to 1982.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
and Royal National Theater, like early 1983 to whatever, and like just
And
remind
Sir Patrick Stewart.
a legitimate
Yes.
night, and just remind, like, almost like a pop-up video style, to be like, hey audience, this is actually a really good actor. What you're about to see, like, don't judge him by this.
I'm going to do you... Okay, this could be apocryphal because it's from IMDb Trivia, but Patrick Stewart said that Tobe Hooper is his favorite director he's worked with.
Oh my god.
That's all. I don't even know.
I don't know when that was.
And he worked
it was
with
probably
Lynch.
before, like, Logan, but...
Yeah. I mean,
What
It was
what
probably
does Toby-
right after X-Men that he did with Bryan Singer, and he's like, well, fuck that guy.
oh yeah.
So who did Patrick Stewart kill that Tobe Hooper saw and has been lording over our boy,
Yeah.
Sir Patrick?
You know what's interesting, and Next Generation invoked so Elizabeth Sladen from Doctor Who was also considered for Space Girl, who Sarah Jane, one of the greatest.
Yeah. Olivia Hussey thought that she was, but she was actually up for a different character, apparently.
Right, and then also another one from the Doctor Who world, Janet Fielding, Tegan Javanka, also from Doctor Who, who's, like, you know, if you're in England, huge. If you're here,
Sure.
you watch PBS. I did.
Right.
Marina Sirtis from
Oh,
Next
nice.
Generation,
Sure.
who of course Patrick Stewart worked
And
with.
Death Wish, I believe, or Death Wish 2. One of the first two Death Wishes.
Can I make a request out into the ether that if I direct an actor in something, and according to them, I am their favorite director that they've ever worked with, and they become a big name, fucking take me with you. You know what I mean? Because Tobe Hooper and Patrick Stewart never worked together.
Never, right? I mean,
Tobe Hooper goes off to do Invaders from Mars, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Those
2.
are the last two. He's got a 3-picture deal starting here with Canon. So it's this, Invaders from Mars, and Texas
And
Chainsaw
then
Massacre.
after
2.
that, we got Spontaneous Combustion, never heard of it. Night Terrors, The Mangler, 2000's
The Mangler.
Crocodile, 2004's Toolbox Murders, 2005's Mortuary, and then 2013's Jinn or Djinn, depending on...
Gene, like the genie.
Gene.
Yeah.
Okay.
by the way, the Mangler, just for the curious, I don't know who that would be. That's the movie that's about the possessed laundry folding machine, and I'm not kidding.
Oh, nice.
Robert Englund is in it too.
No, I'm very
I've seen
into
that one. Yeah.
So it's like, you know,
I'm going to watch that tonight.
it's like if Robert De Niro works with Scorsese
Yeah.
in 1976 and they do Taxi Driver, and De Niro has said that Scorsese is his favorite director.
Mm-hmm.
And then we look at Scorsese's work and it's all like Mannequin sequels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mannequin 4. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you're like, why couldn't De Niro have done something? And so, like,
Mannequin
yes,
4 still on the move.
you're probably right, Josh, and I'm glad you said that it could be apocryphal. But, like, Patrick Stewart, this was your guy. You've worked with a lot of directors, good ones. You couldn't have thrown Tobe Hooper a bone? I mean, you got When the Whistle Blows made.
Yeah, I mean, Tobe Hooper
from
did
Extras.
He did Taken. That was early 2000s, kind of pre-prestige TV, but like, it's
But not to
well
be
regarded.
confused with Taken, the
not
Liam Neeson
the
vehicle.
Liam Neeson Taken,
Yeah.
And also
the
not
alien
with
one.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Not with Patrick Stewart. No.
But do you think Patrick Stewart saw it all? Seen everything?
He's too late.
Well, that's
I've seen
probably
it all.
when this was happening and he was in it. And when he said that Tobe Hooper was his favorite director, that was when I was like, "Oh, that extra shit is all coming from this, right?"
Yeah.
Seen it all. And I don't think he was even fortunate enough to be on set during those scenes. Like, he had, they interchanged.
I would imagine that he was on set for those scenes.
Oh yeah, he came in on his off day, but like, she is in the same scene with him. We just don't see her nude in that scene because they do the interchangeable who is who energy type of thing as our boy Railspec is kind of leaning over the body. And I was like, there's no way they kiss. There's no way they kiss. And then they kissed.
Yes.
This had them kiss. And it's Railsback and fucking Patrick Stewart. Like, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
the fact that we got it when I think everybody, speaking for the three of us, was like, oh, they're just going to swap him out at the last second for Maggie May.
They did not, and it was beautiful.
They did not. Yeah, it was as notable. Yeah, crazy. The blood that apparently she was covered with on her birthday, which was a tidbit I just love.
In the helicopter scene, yeah.
I think that also is like jarringly cool. Of like, oh wow,
yes.
like takes you out of like whatever sort of oatmeal of a storyline that we're going through, and then like, oh wow,
when she's reconstituted from their guts.
Yeah,
it is kind of a cool like what the fuck moment when they're corpses basically on a helicopter, and I love how I don't really know this, but I feel like British helicopters like fly on the other side of the road because that helicopter pilot was not on the left.
Yeah, he's on the right side. Yes.
It just kind of threw me for a loop. But anyway, yeah, they basically barf blood into forming a woman made of blood, who then says something creepy, and then
to Carlson,
to Carlson, hard L, and then I don't know, like splooges through the bottom of the helicopter over London, and like that's in many ways kind of like what offsets or what starts the Blitzkrieg of London.
Yeah. That's where that's kind of the checkered flag going down for the race of of mayhem.
And it's kind of like when you see those two guys in that helicopter scene, it is cool, but it also is like, oh, okay, here's a little bit more of the cheap special effects, like in kind of the worst parts of John Carpenter's The Thing, where you're like, okay, that looks a little too fake. The difference is that John Carpenter's The Thing is so fucking scary.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And so for me, the blood thing absolutely works, but it works in a way that like it just shows how kind of not interesting the things that came before it were.
Sure.
And then that same way of like, oh, are they going to kiss? Are they? Oh, no, it's actually going to be that. Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like it's sort of like, how long have we been in this asylum? Like, what do we do? What are we doing here? And I will say, Josh, you can check me on this. The cut version, the non-director's cut version, I feel like there's way less of this asylum stuff. Like I feel like there's a lot less time of it there. Because I remember seeing the director's cut back. I don't remember there being this much of Patrick Stewart as this doctor and like this whole like tete-a-tete that they're doing here. And I have a feeling that was something that was restored in the director's cut. Which is funny because I like it. Does it add a lot to the story? I don't know. Not really. I mean,
the kiss is removed.
Okay.
The attack on Dr. Armstrong is shortened. So there are cuts there. But I don't know
so
it's not
as
is.
So there's more of it in this than in the theatrical.
Yes, there is.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, or
Conan,
in the stateside version, yes.
Got it.
Conan, were you able to, when you watched that, when you watched the Blood Woman being formed, did it harken back to like childhood Conan being like, oh shit, like that? I remember it being cool then and being cool now.
Yes, that was like, I was like, oh yeah, fuck, that's badass, because it reminded me of. Did you guys see the 80s Blob? The 1980s, not the good one, not the 60s one, but there's
the one from 87, I believe.
I saw some of it.
Or 88.
I think it's 88. Yeah, I saw some of it.
So
I think it was out the same time as Karate Kid Part 2.
That sounds about right. 88. So
Karate Kid Part 2 is
87. The Blob. It's co-written by Darabont.
Yeah.
It's not bad as far as
as in
remakes go.
as in Frank Darabont.
As on Frank
Yes.
Darabont. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This is another one of like, again, this cavalcade of just like video rentals. There's a scene in it, and this is what I really haven't seen in a long time, but there's a scene in it that has a guy with like you see his like, he's got like the blob around him, and it's like a very evocative. And I remember at the time that it was like, oh, this is like the hot girl version of that.
Okay.
Like at the time, that was a long way to go for that, but
No,
that was an evocative scene for me, which is crazy because the amount of stuff I forgot about this movie you could fill books with, but it also does not matter. It doesn't matter even a little bit. Like I remember all the mayhem very well, and I remember that like the helicopters, that they're in a helicopter for whatever reason, and then like stuff kind of like gets loose and stuff starts blowing up. But I remember that being like, that was the movie. Like I remember it being like, she gets up, this dude wants to bone her, and like it's the life sucked out of him, and then they're just like destroying the place, like the entire rest of the movie, which is not what is happening at all, even a little bit. There's so much sitting around talking about what, and then like homie kind of like comes back and like he's remembering, oh, and actually I was the one that wrecked the radio, this and that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting, I guess. And they have a psychic connection. And there's the whole thing of like, oh, she's in another body now, and like she's seducing this like
That was so strange.
Character actor from from the north in England. Like, and we're like, what are we doing? Like, what is like, did she?
I was
just not
bummed
around
when
that
she
day?
took a different form, and we're suddenly with Ellen for a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I mean,
Like that seemed completely extraneous and unnecessary.
didn't add anything.
Yeah.
Shocked that we didn't get nudity on that.
Right? Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then with him kissing her,
He had to kiss her, of course. I mean, that was like
Steve Railsback.
Railsback.
like,
Railsback's
very
got
bizarre.
a Railsback, Josh.
Yeah.
It's in his contract.
He just is compelled to do it. It's like,
Very strange.
I don't know what it is about these beautiful women. I just start kissing.
Now, do you guys have like a relationship to Tobe Hooper?
I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre's rightly regarded as certainly one of the greatest films within horror, but has a place within like the top 500, if not the top 100 of all time. I think
And that was made for $14,000 and made $30 million at the box office.
right from a picture of like budgetary filmmaking, like one of the Hall of Fames as well.
Yeah.
I think Poltergeist is very good. It's not foundationally an important movie to me, but
Right.
I do like Poltergeist.
And it's also that comes with the added like who directed it bullshit.
How much of it was
like,
Spielberg?
Yeah, how much of it was Spielberg? Because Spielberg was on set most of the time, even though this was happening at the same time that E.T. was getting edited.
That's right. And I even academically, because I haven't seen it in years, I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and despite it being deeply unnecessary, because at the time I was already kind of getting down on franchise filmmaking, I thought it was pretty badass at the time. Does it hold up? I'm sure it doesn't.
Canon probably wanted a hit from their 3-picture deal with him, and they didn't get it with Lifeforce. So
get him with Lifeforce.
Go back to the well. I can understand from a business standpoint, not from a creative standpoint, but from a business standpoint, I can understand the impetus for that.
If you just broad picture it, and you're like, you have a team of logic grad students, and you're like, okay, this is the movie that Tobe Hooper directed, but there's a lot of kind of anecdotal evidence, I guess, that suggests that Steven Spielberg directed most of it. And then here's the movie that Tobe Hooper 100% directed with no involvement from Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
My first question is, which is a better film? Which is a better directed film? And looking at these two pieces of evidence, do you tend to believe the rumors?
Well, and I think so, but also look at Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously a very different kind of movie, but it's coherent. It's very coherent. Yeah. It's very well paced.
I think there is the big issue where there is a lot of movie that they didn't get to shoot.
So then becomes a conversation of was the ambition? Did the ambition not meet the results? Right.
Right.
But also, like, look at what you're trying to do with this movie. You're trying to, like, do the culmination of 75 different movies and package it into one.
Oh,
Whereas,
100%.
like, kids break down, kids in Texas go to the wrong house. Like, very, very simple. Done extremely well. But he's not trying in Texas Chainsaw Massacre to, like, find the maxim of humanity and the afterlife. You get killed, maybe you get eaten in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but there's no energy source emanating from your body at any point in that movie.
True. Well, and this is again, we use the term elevated now, but this was an attempt at making an elevated genre picture because there's a lot of that happening. Again, everyone's kind of chasing the surprise hit of Alien. You had The Thing that when it came out, not a hit, but gradually, especially as video became prevalent, became huge. That it became, you can have these movies that kind of hit on a bigger level, and maybe it's not Douglas Sirk, like we're talking about something entirely different now. This is what OG Terminator's 84, I think, right?
Yeah,
that's another one that like nobody saw that coming,
right?
Yeah, but you look at OG Terminator 84 and then like what the guy behind that ended up doing.
Yeah.
To
Cameron,
do.
You do anything recently? Yeah, I don't know.
Whereas you look at, Tobe Hooper, and I think in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, shot in 73, released 74, so much innovative things that get stolen by horror movies.
Yeah.
Subsequently to that.
Agreed.
Like he's just a trailblazer in that movie in so many different aspects. And what does he do with that, and where does he go? Was it the lightning in the bottle that he used up mostly in that movie?
Well, and they were like shooting 7-day weeks on that fucking thing, like in the extreme heat. Like I honestly, reading about how Texas Chainsaw Massacre came together, I'm constantly shocked that it worked at all. Like, how did that happen? And like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, he's just bringing a crew together that's basically like UTRTF people, probably, who all are at least like students of film are gonna try to figure out how to fucking make it. But like, I really don't understand how it worked.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes sense too. Also, one of the other big budget ones he did, big budget, right, is Invaders from Mars. That. It's perfectly valid to think like, this will be our Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This will be like fits nicely in that, and it didn't. It didn't at all. And then I feel like there's just so many things like I haven't seen any of these freaking movies. They look terrible. I don't want to watch them.
Right. There is the element of like even if Spielberg didn't really direct Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't, he still had Spielberg's suction.
Right.
Spielberg's ability to get shit like actually made versus working with Canon, who I fucking love Canon films. Like,
sure. Yeah. A lot of
Golan
good stuff
and Globus for life,
Globus, baby.
Josh, can you just
But they ran out of money making this. They had to shut down production multiple times, apparently. They ran out of money making this, even though they said it was fine to go over 5 weeks. They still didn't get to shoot like all of the stuff with the male vampires.
I would be bummed if I was one of the male vampires. Like,
Josh, can you just give the cliff notes for the people at home, like the 3-sentence summary of Golan and Globus and Canon?
Menahem, Golan, and oh god damn it, just
Yoram,
Globus, Menahem, Golan. Yeah.
They're cousins, right?
Yes, they're Israeli cousins. From my understanding and my recollection from watching Electric Boogaloo, that was the name of the documentary, right? About Canon Films. I think it was Electric Boogaloo.
Didn't know it.
A great documentary. Everyone should watch it if you can find it. But they're basically cocaine-fueled, insane Israeli. They ended up being film producers. They did what the first couple movies were like The Apple, which is one of them directed it, and it's bonkers.
Yeah.
But like they're doing all of these like, it's mostly exploitative genre stuff, but they did Break In and Break Into Electric Boogaloo. They did Masters of the Universe. They did the really terrible Captain America film in 1990 or 91 that starred J.D. Salinger's kid.
They did Barfly, and Bukowski wrote that whole book, Hollywood, basically lighting those guys up, which is hilarious.
Right. And they did try to do films from time to time that were like not of their like kind of schlocky oeuvre, but they did a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, let's get in bed with late career Charles Bronson and do a bunch of Chuck Bronson movies, which, hey, again, big Charles Bronson fan, but for not the right reasons. There's an irony involved in the Charles Bronson fandom here. So they're two like crazy lunatic Israeli producers who are basically peddling TNA and violence.
Yeah.
Like the entirety or the vast majority of the canon films are heavy on TNA and heavy on violence or heavy on violence, but almost always heavy on the TNA. And like, it's almost always not needed.
Yeah, like American Ninja, Death Wish 4, like you said, like Cobra as them, right?
Right. They love to do a lot of the like, oh, this film worked for another studio. Let's pick up this franchise.
Right.
And let's ride the Death Wish franchise into a fifth iteration. They did break apart around 1990. And you had one of them do the Forbidden Dance and one of them do Lambada. To like, that was like the first like fuck you back and forth between them. Right. And actually, you know what? Captain America was just one of them. Captain America was right after their split, but
Bloodsport.
Yeah, they had a falling out, and both of them went their separate ways and had spite like dancing movies at one another in the wake of Dirty Dancing success.
Yeah. Crazy.
Thanks, Josh. I think that's important to know who's behind this movie.
Yes,
I think they did Superman 4 too, right? The Quest for Peace. They did. The really garbage one.
And which, killed the Superman franchise.
Yeah, they killed
for a while.
Not just a Superman franchise; it killed superhero movies for years until Burton's Batman.
Well, Howard the Duck helped do that too, but now, I think it's also instructive that on the first day that dailies came in, where Matilda May had done nude scenes, producers, and by producers, I think we can all assume we're talking about Yoram Globus and Menachem Golan. Producers said, more of this, please. So then they had to scramble around to get even more nudity of Matilda May crammed into this movie,
which you could argue is almost not possible.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it was, because there's a bunch of it that was like too. I believe my impression is that it's too labia forward, and so that there was a lot of footage that did not make it into the film because of that. So.
Yeah. Oh God, there's some real creepy like they wanted her to look more alien, so they had her shave, right? And then they're like, well, now you look more like a child, so that's kind of
like a doll child with massive
Tobe Hooper wanted that though. Tobe Hooper had her shaved, and then I think it was hair and makeup were like kind of on her side and were like, no, this looks fucked up, you can't do this.
Yeah, this is not
so
cool.
But he would come in on her side in this movie.
Yeah,
he would come in and say, oh, we need her trimmed up, and they would like cut off little bits of wig and put it on the floor to like trick Tobe Hooper into thinking that she had been trimmed up and shaped. But weird day for all involved, I'm sure.
Switching
doing
off from
the daily pubis, the daily mons pubis inspection.
I was gonna say the pube report, but that works too.
Yeah.
This won a Saturn Award for Best Horror Film and Best Special Effects.
With cause. I mean, some of the effects are decent. I'm not going to say they're not. Like, sure, maybe the blue light stuff is cribbing from Ghostbusters. And I think actually, isn't Highlander the next year, or is it 85 also?
Some of the Boar stuff is the kind of the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic.
Yeah, for sure.
Highlander is 86, so it's Highlander's next year. So maybe it's a who stole from who kind of situation.
Right.
It does look cool. The animatronics, some of it's a little goof-ass and a little bit Evil Dead derogatory, but with the budget they had, I think a lot of the practical effects work. I'm not mad at it. It's just funny to see it in a...
The space stuff is what looks the worst.
It really, I mean, good writing, good performing, a good story, compelling narrative, all the building blocks of a movie can buy you this leash with special effects. And that some of the cheapest special effects have had kind of the most haunting resonance with me, the longest lasting kind of nightmare fuel, because of the story I'm so invested in, and because what's happening is actually scaring me. And so I'm able to kind of go like, oh, that doesn't look like 100% realistic, but the practicality of it, and the stuff with putting my hands through someone's chest when I'm defibrillating them, like in 82's The Thing, like that's, I'm so scared at that point that I'm okay to go like, okay, well, the dogs look a little weird when they get transformed, and the guy whose blood's tested, it looks a little, little fake. Holy shit, that's just, it's almost going to scare me more to have kind of a cheap special effect.
Yeah.
than just some CGI total glaze.
Some Netflix crap. Yeah, where just
some Netflix crap.
This is saved by it not having, effectively not having CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like the I don't know how they would have done the like blue light effects that are sort of like ghostly. I don't know how that would have been made at this time. But
and I recently watched the Kobayashi anthology movie Quiden, which was quite good, which was amazing and more than likely an influence on Paul Schrader, one of my favorite films, Misha, My Life in 4 Chapters.
Sure.
That tells these stories, and it's really good, but it's painted sets. It's very clearly they took like an aircraft hangar and then like built all the sets within there. And some of it is like so clearly, if you look at the constituent parts, it looks cool, but it doesn't look realistic. But within the framework of what they're doing and these excellent stories they're telling with powerful performances, it transcends and becomes something different. And in the same way, look at The Wizard of Oz, right? Wizard of Oz in the same way. Like, why is this one of the most enduring movies of all time? Well, it's not because it had, I mean, at the time they were state-of-the-art special effects, some of which literally killed some of the people involved with it. But bad special effects, in retrospect for us, again, it's bad and it is at least practical. It exists, it's tactile, it has a gravity, it has a presence in the real world, which is something that no matter how many times people say it, nobody seems to want to address in this modern CGI slop weightlessness BS that we have to suffer through.
Right.
So when I say it's some goof-ass looking stuff, it's because it's some goof-ass looking stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'd
it
still
would
prefer
be,
that to a CGI fest, like Ant-Man and the or Ant-Man the Quantum
Mania, unwatchable.
Mania, like unwatchable.
Unwatchable.
So fucking bad.
And by the way, in my
there's
opinion,
not a hard surface in that movie.
Right. And ruined the most grounded and interesting of that franchise movies. Because it was the only, first of all, it was the only character centered that had come from a working class background.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to get into a conversation about Ant-Man, but way to just ruin, hey, let's take everything that was good about this and not do any of that and just put a bunch of gormless nonsense in it. Sounds great. So when I say it's goof-ass special effects, it's more because you're not engrossed by the narrative. You can't fucking understand the narrative half the time. Pardon my French.
Right.
But
I do think that part of this is because we have O'Bannon and his writing partner Don Jacoby writing this,
who also did Return of the Living Dead as well.
And they wrote Invaders from Mars after this for Tobe Hooper, but they also did O'Bannon wrote Total Recall.
He wrote Total Recall, exactly, adapting the short story from Philip K. Dick, which is no mean feat.
I do suspect that the the scripted version of this made sense. And
right. There's maybe some coherence on the page that didn't end up on the screen.
Right. And they had two guys, Michael Armstrong and Olaf. What's his fucking last name? Olaf Pooley. They did some uncredited rewrites, but that's probably because of the Matilda May stuff, I would guess. But you have a studio that runs out of money while making this movie. You have a studio that also, the instant they see Matilda May nude, it's like, more of that, please.
Yeah. We're into this whole succubus thing. Yeah, it's great.
Right. I think you have the entirety of this thing undercut by things that are at least somewhat outside of Tobe Hooper's control.
Yeah.
I think there may have been a coherent movie in here, and that we don't get the scenes from that movie.
Well,
but I think the coherent version of this is also probably 3 hours long because of what they're trying to do.
Sure. It's all in the middle. I think the beginning and the ending, whatever they're attempting to accomplish versus, whatever was accomplished, I'm not going to necessarily say it works. I'm going to say it does what it needs to do, but the middle is just so uneven, so draggy, and just the most baffling decisions ever. Just like, seems like it made it's like, okay, the shooting script was made by cocaine is what it sounds like,
Yes, it's that time.
Can I just read, this is very, very, very late in the movie.
I was hoping that this was going to be fanfic, but sure.
This is not fanfic. Josh and I, let's talk off mic about that.
Yeah,
Maybe Conan can jump in on that.
Yeah,
okay.
But this is Carlson / Carson.
Yeah.
And Kane, as they're looking at London across the river, right?
Sure.
And fires are burning, and all the blue lights are kind of rising up from.
Now
the city,
you dictated this yourself, right? Or you took dictation from the film? You transcribed it?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
This is, and they're both looking and kind of staring off into the void. They're shoulder to shoulder, and he says, "I'm not going to do his terrible El Paso accent here, but it's all those little lights, the blue ones, going up towards the clouds. Those are individual human energy bundles." Guy says, "How do you know that?" "Well, I feel it. They're using all the people they've converted to steal the energy for them. The process of conversion releases the life energy, and then it can be collected." Talks about the umbrella that is flying over the fucking planet. She is the focus of this. The male is collecting the energy, but he has to send it through her to get it up to the collector. She's over there. I get flashes coming from her body. It's sensitive to its environment. It picks up things. If I go across the river to the city, the contact will be stronger. The male will come if he senses I've found her. She's drawing me anyway. I have to go. She wants back the energy she gave me. When they adjust to a new life form, they must learn that life form, mate with it in a sense. The girl chose me, but when she mixed with me, she gave me part of herself. Now she wants that part back. Then she'll be complete. She won't need her body at all. She'll be free to leave London permanently and love everybody on Earth. And if you fell asleep in the middle of that, Unkind Rewind listeners, same.
It is such an exposition dump.
What are we doing? That's with like 20 minutes left to go. We get that.
That's right.
Yeah, we finally understand what everything's about.
Yeah, we're batting cleanup now.
I wonder if this is like week 6 or 7 of production, and Tobe Hooper is, obviously his producers don't give a shit about this, but Tobe Hooper and Dan O'Bannon and whoever the other writer is are just
Don Jacoby.
Don Jacoby. They're like, we're so fucked. Like, what can we do here?
Well, again, I bet that this was something. This was something that was probably explained in one of the scenes they realized they weren't going to be able to film. Or in the sequence of scenes that they weren't going to be able to film with the male vampires or some shit, where it's like, oh, okay, like none of this is even going to happen. So now we need to find a way to get this exposition dump. So they're like on the soundstage, the helicopter's on the soundstage, and it's like, okay, well, let's just get this. Like, can you memorize this fucking like nonsense?
You got soldiers running around in the background. It was probably a bitch to shoot he
Right.
probably was reading cue cards at this moment. But like, how long did I just talk, guys?
It's
20 minutes.
It's a long time. Yeah, it's a long time for uninterrupted exposition.
Let's wrap up the bow on this movie.
I mean, that's got to be like a page of screenplay.
Yeah.
That is just that like diarrhea dump of exposition.
And the only thing you have to break it up is curly-haired Equus actor going like, "Is that so?"
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, like, interesting. Huh. Or like, that's the only thing other than this just being a monologue.
Yeah.
That we have poor curly hair going like, "Yes, well, that's just quite the pickle, isn't it?" I just feel like that is kind of the summation of like so many problems in this movie, to be like, let's just barf out a minute of exposition before we get to our finale, just so kind of we make sure everybody's on the same page. And nobody is on the same page at that point, right?
No. Like you mentioned way early on, Josh, you don't people the direction of who's a vampire and who's a zombie and what's the differentiation, you know?
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Who can change? Who is done changing?
Yeah.
Who is still a problem? Who is still dangerous even if they're dead? Like, once Patrick Stewart and the other guy kind of barf out the blood to form Blood Girl, are they then both okay, or are those bodies still biological hazards?
There's a 2-hour limit that if they, if they don't,
the 2-hour limit,
and that's notable. Like, okay, well, there's 2 hours, then they turn to dust. Okay,
thank God that this space sentient being is still like adhering to kind of like our human engineered construct of like what an hour is.
Yeah, that's handy, isn't it?
Here's a really great thing in the beginning of the movie where they're like, the spaceship Churchill, 2:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I'm like, oh fucking thanks.
Yeah.
Like, thank God that we know that's the middle after the afternoon.
You know who that was?
Was it Tobe Hooper?
John Larroquette.
No.
No.
Really? Wow.
No.
It says it's John Larroquette on IMDb, I think.
I mean, it's the funniest thing Larroquette's ever done, is to give me the fucking time of day in a movie set in
but
space.
he's apparently the narrator for that opening.
I love it. That's a crazy tidbit. You know what's crazy about this movie? You know who's a big fan of it? Quentin Tarantino. Big fan of Lifeforce. Has called it out multiple times in interviews as
that
one
makes
that he
sense.
saw a bunch in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of exposed feet in this movie. A lot of like women's feet, with or without rubber soles, that you see in this movie.
Yeah, he's a Lifeforce advocate. So
I wonder if part of it, I mean, other than just the female nudity, I wonder if part of it is like, I just kind of want to be ironic and super film nerdy and drop a Lifeforce.
It's cooler to mention Lifeforce than Texas Chainsaw. Yeah.
The right answer is to be a fan of Texas Chainsaw.
He also likes grindhousey stuff, and this does present as like hyper elevated grindhouse to a certain degree because the nonsensical logic, the freaking, the massive exposition dump, so well performed, Sean. Thank you earlier. Where it's just like, okay, why didn't we get this like an hour? Like, you could have teased this out over the course of like the last 3 hours we've been watching this movie instead of just dropping it all at the end right before the
where he's sequence. Just sensing this apparently.
Yeah, how do you sense that level of detail?
Also, I had to up the performance level on that monologue earlier, just to make it more interesting than when Railsbeck did it.
Yeah, and it's like. There's nothing, which is okay. Sorry, because the Mancini score good, but does so much heavy lifting for trying to like more heavy lifting than anything I've seen. Honestly, something I'll tell you that I've seen more heavy lifting with Hamnet, crazy amount of heavy lifting with the score telling you what you're seeing is important, while the things on screen are not actually that important. Not since Lifeforce.
We started and kind of ended with this like bum 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 bum. It reminded me of the NFL films. Josh, I think we just talked about this. Like, the autumn wind is a pirate.
Yeah.
The Raiders were down 14. Bum 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 bum.
Well, we talked about this because it's very akin to Excalibur, frankly.
Oh yeah, and Orff, how much Orff and Wagner are kind of throughout that
right.
movie.
So it's got a pomposity to it. It's kind of grandiose feeling, and because of that, it gives it gives you the trappings of elevated cinema.
Right. Wait, are we saying this isn't elevated?
Josh, I know we're kind of loose on this, but what are the pertinent things that we want to cover with Conan?
So, I mean, I think we can go to picking up the scraps. Are there just like random tidbits that we wanted to throw out there at this point?
We touched on the design of that freaking iron weapon. Okay, first of all, where'd you get that?
Yeah.
Is that just laying around?
Like a
we may have all missed it. It's possible we all missed where that came from. But it would be odd for all three of us to not pick up on that. And if we didn't, then I would say that and it happened, then I would say that it wasn't clear enough at all.
You give me like a display case cutaway, and he goes, "What's that?" "Oh, that's an old thing from the 1500s we found." And we're not quite sure, but it has strange. It doesn't show up on any chemical periodic table. Whatever. Okay, fuck. It takes 10 seconds to do that.
It's from the last time they came. Maybe they did say that, actually. I don't know.
Maybe they got that. Sure. Okay. But like that's if you're gonna have a machine of God. Maybe take the time to actually introduce it instead of just being like, oh, there it is in a dude. Like, okay. And he's telling you what happened over the phone, which is honestly kind of a flex narratively. I actually kind of like, of just like, I'm not going to bother you showing what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened while you see in the foreground the results of it. That's audacious enough that I kind of like it, even though it's barely forgivable in a movie like this where there's so many egregious just flaws in logic and just narrative dysfunction. But I don't mind it, especially because it's like, all right, we're really going to see like a fight scene between, the Ubermensch over here and and the white-haired the Doctor Who day player. Yeah.
Yeah.
And later on, like the the male model that would become the giant bat, he didn't really seem too concerned that blonde Curly had like the vampire slaying weapon.
Yeah.
He was like, "Come on to me, bro.
Yeah.
Live it up." And then of course he's run through. I mean, I have so many little scraps, Josh. I'm just gonna kind of give you a couple here. I wrote the word silotit.
Yeah.
Like, so I get it. Okay.
Very large on that wall.
Yeah. Well, I guess they wanted not to have an X rating, right? That was the rationale.
I was also like, we can show that there's people in a space shuttle and that they're in zero gravity without having to like invert the camera and watch the scene upside down. Like, expect a little bit from your audience.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Josh what he knows of, or if he can explain to me what soft docking means.
I definitely noted soft docking.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah.
Seems like something that would have caught your ear.
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, if there's a desiccated corpse that becomes reanimated, looks like a demon, either show that a doctor is hypnotized by doing a close-up of his eyes or something, that he has no control over his body, or just don't have that doctor go give him a hug.
Yeah.
You can pick one of the two. And lastly, I was like, how many glass doors does somebody have to run through at that institute in order to get to the, like, operating room? It was like, did they just go to Costco and like, can we get as many like police station style glass doors?
Yeah.
How many do you need? How many you got? Yeah, exactly.
Well, we sell them in batches.
We're going to need all of them.
I mean, you got to buy at least 20.
Turns out we're over budget. We spent all on glass doors. Okay.
And then later when they got them, they're like, "Oh, we thought you meant 20 bundles." So there's 20 bundles of 20, and then Hooper's like, "Fuck it, use them all." What about
no
scraps
returns?
What do you guys got for scraps?
I did enjoy that this is like one of those rash of mid-'80s comet movies because of Halley's Comet.
It was Comet, sure.
Haley-phobia,
you
might say.
Yep.
The great comic panic of the mid-'80s.
Yeah, because there's Night of the Comet, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Mark Twain thing that obviously Mark Twain came was born and died when Halley's Comet came, right. But there was that Mark Twain wasn't it claymation thing that came out in the mid 80s that's about Samuel Clemens. You know?
Okay.
Coherence is a recent Comet movie.
Oh yeah,
have you guys seen Coherence?
Yeah, Coherence is great. I love. When is Moorhead and Benson going to be given the opportunity to do something that's an original project with a budget? Because they've done so much with almost nothing. I like all their movies. They're all really good. They made Loki and Moon Knight interesting and or palatable. And I mean, the second season of Loki is basically the best season of Doctor Who I've seen in years. Compliment. But they just, for whatever reason, they just won't let them do anything that's outside of IP. And as even like Something in the Dirt, I thought that was interesting. Coherence, great. Resolution, great. Moorhead and Benson, everybody, come out next week. Anyway.
There was apparently in 1983 they announced that John Gielgud, Klaus Kinski, and Olivia Hussey were going to be in this. Late 83, because this went into production February of 84, February 2nd.
Wow.
So in late 83, there was a teletext movie news section that announced those three as appearing in this movie. And I know Gielgud said that the original amount of money that they said he was going to make was like obscene, and then when they came back to him, it was like half of what they originally promised. So obviously that's some Golan and Globus special business being done there.
Who is Klaus Kinski going to be? Dr. Hans? That wouldn't make sense.
I would assume so.
Oh man, that would turn this into a totally different kind of movie. But
Klaus Kinski was cast as Space Girl.
Just hanging brain the whole time. Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, that would have been a weird, very different movie from this, I think. Not that, I mean, I think Hussey was not going to be Space Girl.
I mean, there's not a lot of women in this movie.
This is a movie by and for dudes.
This is a Bechdel fail.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see. We've covered a lot of it. When I think of like Hammer horror movies with this, but like done in like a sci-fi setting.
Hooper felt like he was getting to make his Hammer horror movie.
That makes sense. That's totally. And again, I'm someone that I can enjoy things on multiple levels.
Sure.
I'm not against those. I think there's a time and there's a place, but it's just trying to do so much. And it's funny. I think it can come back to like one of my scraps would just be, I was shocked by how much I'd forgotten multiple times over watching this movie.
Right.
Including
because
entire
I think they just throw an impossible amount of shit at the wall,
Yeah, exactly. And it's too much. It's too many ideas. It's too many unfulfilled subplots, side quests, where it's like, you don't need any of that. You have a cool concept, space fucking vampires. Great. You don't need any of the rest of that stuff. And I feel like there's probably a version of this that the Doctor kind of, with his passion for finding what happens after you die and afterlife and so on, like plays a bigger role. Okay. But that's not on the screen anywhere.
Right.
So you just have these like befuddling little speeches given now and then. We're like, what? What's that? What's he on about? Like, what are we doing? I think the conflicted lead who's like under her spell, but then also, spoiler alert for Lifeforce, everybody, like stabs her and him through the heart, but then they get beamed up to like the honestly kind of cool design for the spaceship. I'm not mad at the design for the spaceship, and then they just fucking bail and that's the ending. And it's like, okay, so I guess see you next comet. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what?
See you next comet. Yeah, because like they're both going to be dead by the time they see this next.
Yeah, so like that's like it would be almost a more interesting movie to be like, well, how do they deal with this? Like, what's the next day look like? right? Where you have like
yeah.
havoc in this section of London. Body count untold. They have to explain the quickening,
The 28 days later of this.
Right, yeah. That would be badass. I would love to see a movie like that. Because it seems like, nobody involved has a cogent explanation of what's going on.
Right.
So what is that? Is just they probably just default to cover up, I guess. I don't know. But I do like a big swing, right? I do. I love a big swing. It's just befuddling. It's befuddling how many things that this tries to do. And you guys kind of hit, and I guess I had an easier time with the space stuff before you started poking holes in it. It's like, God, there's so much of that. You don't need them running around in space that much. Like, we get it. You can accomplish this in like 6 minutes.
That should be 5 minutes of screen time.
Exactly.
You could have him being like the post-mortem kind of talk, cigarette, ashtray full of cigarettes, cup of coffee in a styrofoam cup or whatever, and he's giving his
it's like
take
the
of the sole
debrief.
survivor.
It's like the debrief. Yeah, 100%. And it's better.
They spent a lot of money on the sets, basically, and they had to have some of that money be on the screen.
We get a really good debrief the next year in Aliens.
That's true.
Did IQs just drop suddenly while I was away?
Everyone's sniffing gasoline
lads,
that year.
I'm going to send you guys here in the chat the official Lifeforce poster over in UK to just try to...
That's much more accurate.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
This is perhaps before they cast, what's her name? Because they have two naked blonde women strapped to phallic escape pods being blasted out of, I think, some type of nebula spaceship thing.
It kind of looks like a shrubbery, maybe, I guess.
Oh, yeah, like a black shrubbery.
Out of a bush.
Out of a bush, which these women do not show that they have. This is probably,
and both of the spaceships are phallic in nature, and so we've got these two naked women strapped to dongs, being shot out of a bush, in space.
And this isn't even like fan created. These are among the official, and I would encourage. Conan mentioned very, very early on that the poster for this movie could kind of be anything. It's a bit of a Rorschach test.
Yes. You see the Earth that has Lifeforce in a cool font, and there's like a thing that looks like an eye with like octopus tentacles.
Where you see this and you're like, okay, like maybe this is like the prequel to Cocoon. Maybe this is the sequel to Starman. Like there's a lot of ways to kind of interpret this. At no point does what happened in the movie is conveyed through the official poster.
No way.
It is an absolute bait and switch, which is why I think a lot of people got tricked on this movie.
Now, you brought up Cocoon. This opened against Cocoon.
Oh, okay.
This did not obviously do better than Cocoon, as we've done that film as well, and that film did very well at the box office. So the budget of this was $25 million. Did you guys look up what this made?
Budget's $25.
$25.
I'm guessing it
$25.
made 25
And you're both
pounds,
Quentin
Conan.
Tarantino. You bought tickets twice.
Conan, it was 25 pounds.
Please. We got there.
Okay.
I only have domestic box office figures for this.
I'll say 11. I'll say
11.6, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, this is...
Should we move on? Should we...
Yeah, let's move on to major gripes.
I'm just looking at the rest of these posters, and they're all... Every one of them, it looks like no one's seen this movie. Like
No.
Like they don't...
let's do major gripes, but let's keep it to major gripe.
Like just one, just to get us out of here at a reasonable time.
Conan,
so major gripe, starting with Conan, what was your biggest gripe with the film this go around?
I mean, I can just chalk it all up to narrative coherence. There's a bunch of freaking more characters than you need, more plot than you need, and you get all of the explanations for everything in a big exposition jump 20 minutes before it's over. What are we doing?
I mean, I double down completely on what Conan just said. I think that's spot on. This movie is kind of fucked as soon as they hit print on the screenplay. And also, I just think Steve Railsbeck is just a fucking douche. He's not handsome enough to carry this movie, considering how much close-up action he gets on his face. And for him to kind of be both sexually drawn to evil. It's such a nerd boy fantasy.
Yeah.
Yes.
This movie.
Yes.
And, but also kind of have this like Disney Prince Charming effect when he kisses women that they faint and they're so enraptured by him as well. And he's just a douche. He's just a, he's, God love you. Maybe you're a nice guy out there, but you're the biggest failure from the Strasberg Actors Studio. Come at me.
I think if we look down the alumni of Lee Strasberg Studio, there may be others, but he's on the short list of
with a filmography like this, with this many credits.
Talking about the star of Hitcher 2.
Yeah.
Actually, he's not even the star.
She's somebody that's worked this much that we're all like completely in the dark of.
Yeah, sure. I think for me, I think we actually need more Matilda May in this. But I'm not saying from a nudity standpoint.
Just more of the character.
I think we got enough of that.
Yeah.
But I do think that we need to be with her as the, Familian fucking space vampire. I think we need more of her as that. I think we need to follow that more and get a better sense with a show not tell sort of
a character method. Maybe rather than just
right to like actually give her character some agency or some, not even agency. She has agency, I guess, but give her some sense of a developed storyline.
Right.
Because right now, or as it is, we don't get that at all.
It's just wandering around basically. And
she couldn't have a space vampire robe, that just kind of came with the thing. Instead, we just got to have her naked and like, not to rail on my boy Railsback here, but like,
I think
I
think he's catching a lot of flack, but it's all right.
To further rail on him, the ultimate scene where he's intertwined with a nude 19-year-old big-breasted French woman, and he still has the script still has the audacity to say, and I quote, "What are these feelings? Why do I feel so close to you?
I wonder why.
Are you fucking kidding?"
And he's so he was born in 1945. This comes out in 85. So he's like 41 too.
Yeah.
Not to get into the age age gap discourse thing, but yeah, that is like, look, nice work if you can get it.
At least look like John Hamm or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So yeah, he's just a dumpy looking dude. Sorry.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that my wife hates John Hamm.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, he has got to get that in there, even when we don't bring up John Hamm.
Yeah, she hates John Hamm and Jason Bateman. Hates them.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, it's funny to me that she hates them so much. So whenever they come up, I feel like they need to be mentioned. That needs to be mentioned.
Fair enough.
But
I was only using John because he's like objectively handsome by most metrics, and by a lot of women thinking that he's handsome. And this movie would have done a little bit better. Just thinking of maybe
thinking of the ladies and getting a matinee idol.
Yeah, if you have like a Kurt Russell or something, even.
Oh, Kurt Russell would have been great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, movie fixed.
Yeah. Fix the movie. I would believe it.
Honestly, the movie works with Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Conan just fixed it.
Yep. So there's the fix. Fix this movie for today. Conan just did.
There we go.
Conan just did.
Everyone go home now.
Yeah.
I can't beat that.
Let's just stop recording right now, guys.
Because even with the script that he's handed, Kurt would have found humor that this movie needed. He would have found.
He's got panache. He has presence, which this dude does not have. This dude's like a freaking black hole.
He can intuit how to make a movie good.
Yeah,
and he would have cocked his eyebrows and go and said at least once or twice wait, are you telling me blank, blank, blank? And that's how you get the exposition across.
Exactly. Uh-huh. Then you can get all right, we got to get these 3 pages in under 5 minutes. Okay. He's got it. It works in the thing. We're Big Trouble, Little China. Jeez.
Now all we need to do is figure out how to time travel Conan back to 1984.
Yeah.
And have him sit in on the writer's room.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Okay, so we fixed the movie. We don't even need to fix the movie for today.
No, we don't.
Saving graces. Saving graces. What was your favorite moment or element of the film? Starting with our guest, Conan.
I despite it feeling somehow unearned, I do love all the mayhem. And I love the idea of there just being this unexplained phenomenon. Everyone's going crazy, stuff blowing up, cars are crashing into each other. And again, in my memory, it was because basically everyone's like, wow, there's this naked hot chick.
Sure.
You know, that like as a kid, that was my memory. And that's not really what was happening.
No, not at all.
I think at least a third of it works really well and is bold, which is to say that if you think about two abstract concepts, which is not just vampires, but vampires from space, okay, and the titular life force being like the chi or the soul or whatever. Yeah. So rather than being a blood-based situation, you know, you're talking about someone's actual energy. I think we've seen that a lot since this, and it's more of a normalized concept. But at the time, that was pretty heady, and I think that's interesting. I think that works, and that's. Is it one of the reasons to watch it? I don't know, not necessarily, because it doesn't. It works like C+ level,
yeah,
and that can be enough if you're in the right mood and you're not into like heavy critical thinking or anything.
Sure.
Because this movie, as much as I've been just busting chops out the entire time, it is kind of cool. It's a cool movie. Is it coherent? No, I didn't say that. I said it was cool.
No. Yeah. Sean, what's your favorite moment or element of the film?
I mean, as far as elements, I guess just the courage to approach a movie with the impetus of, what if a 40-year-old heterosexual man has never seen a naked woman before? And how can we run with that?
I'm compelled to you somehow. I know how.
Why do I feel so... What are these feelings? You're a fucking horn dog, dude.
You miss sex ed, huh?
All and right. She's a hot naked chick. Yeah. So, other than that, I mean, I gotta say, I have a little bit of a hat tip to that they actually made Railsbeck and Stewart kiss.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Part of the, like, fascination, too, is, like, the amount of work and the amount of production design that goes into this movie. And, like, this thing is going to be in existence forever. And even, like, and how you'll always have to, like, if you've worked on this movie in any capacity, you are aligned to it. And you could have worked really, really hard for fucking 7 weeks. And this is the output. I even thought about that on a very microcosmic level of, like, here's two guys that get slathered in flame retardant gel and have to, like, be ignited and writhe around screaming on fire with no special effects for the movie Lifeforce. And
that's a living.
That tickled me. And then just maybe on kind of like a no irony, I did think when British Tony Bennett, the doctor, Peter Finlay.
Frank Finlay.
Frank Finlay, yeah. I think that the actual special effects to get his face bubbling, I thought was actually really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that's Klaus Kinski? Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, man. He wouldn't have
That would have been so much bigger.
Exactly. And I kind of feel like that maybe is what this needed, that the three male leads are all kind of like, not snoozy necessarily, but they're not like these vivacious personalities or anything. And and out of three, you think one would have. I mean, I guess Peter Firth kind of showed the best out of all of them. But even then, like, I don't know, like it shouldn't be, for a movie with this much crazy shit happening, it shouldn't be so somnambulant.
Right.
You already fixed this movie.
Oh, we got it.
So like,
we nailed it. Yeah.
There's so few more points other than just what Cook said.
Yeah. For me,
I mean, unfortunately,
the obvious saving grace.
Yeah, exactly.
The obvious saving grace of this film is Matilda May.
I mean, does it have to be said?
Someone had to.
Yeah,
I'll follow my sword for this.
Yeah,
okay.
You're very brave.
But I think specifically the blood scene in the helicopter is like inarguably pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, with the kind of like modern day ubiquity of female nudity, it's less of a like important seminal, no pun intended, moment to kind of have like a young hot woman that is in, you know, her birthday suit for most of this movie. But in '85,
some of it on her actual birthday too.
Yeah, poor girl. But in '85, this must have just been like, it must have just blown the minds of sort of young men, old men, everything in between, lesbian women, to have a character in a non-sexual kind of, you know, this is a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
This is not a Red Shoe Diary.
Right.
To have this kind of level of full frontal nudity, I think, is trailblazing in some ways.
So, did everyone have a good time with Lifeforce?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I did feel the runtime.
Yeah, you definitely feel the runtime. I suspect that it does make it a little more coherent.
Yeah.
But probably not enough to earn the runtime unless it's like, I don't know how much of the nudity is cut from the 101 minute or in the 101 minute cut.
I feel like none of it.
To make this movie to make this movie like enjoyable for that for the more tawdry elements for the audience, I kind of think it's necessary. Because I don't know how much if this movie didn't have that, no one would ever talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess the thing to note, it's not like a Russ Meyer joint or something, right?
No,
no. Like it doesn't present that way, and I think we have a lexicon for it. Oh, okay, so this is Skinamax. This is so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
We have plenty of.
There's effectively one sex scene.
Stars has kind of taken that over in the modern parlance,
yes,
right?
100%.
Okay, but it's not. Yeah, it isn't those things. Like it is. So it's interesting that it's so prevalent, but it's not like the focus. It's not like
it's not overtly sexual.
Hey guys, unzip it.
Right.
Here we go. We're doing this.
Yeah, it's not okay. Well, we have to have a sex scene by minute X, and we have to, like hit all of those Skinamax beats. It's somehow
so you can
not
imagine
that,
what
even though
next.
It's wildly exploitative.
Oh, he fixes the cable. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do this movie though, and you have our lead space girl dressed up as like Ursa from Superman 2, we're probably just neither the three of us nor anybody is probably talking.
It's just the movie.
100%. You would no one would ever talk about this now if it were not for the Matilda May nudity.
That's true. It's the only reason I know her name.
Yes. So when you ask Josh, what was my visit to Lifeforce like? I'm going to say, I'm not disappointed I watched this movie.
And I feel like we could talk for 3 more hours about it too, which is crazy because it's like
right.
It's not like
because it's not good enough to have warranted that much discussion, but somehow
it's something that it feels like it's so close to something like profound that it's almost annoying.
Yeah. But I think like if you told the filmmakers at the time that, checking my clock here, 40 years plus later, that 3 guys would spend 2+ hours talking about your movie, they'd all nod and go, yes, of course.
Yes, of course you're going to. We're making a masterpiece here.
Unironically, I suppose. Yes, quite.
So
like they expected this level of appreciation.
Yeah. So before we say goodbye to listeners at home, where can they find you, Conan?
Yeah, at Conan Neutron, most things, neutron.bluesky.com, neutronfriends.bandcamp.com for the music. You can find the band out on tour, a large portion of spring with Red Cross, and some shows with Mike Watt. So check the website for that, neutronfriends.com, or any of the things that you normally check, I guess. We have more stuff coming up for summer and fall as well, yet to be announced at this juncture. ProtonicReversal.com, weeklies, Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, stream live, podcasted later. A bunch of great episodes coming on for that. Patreon.com/ProtonicReversal, $1 a month, advance access. And of course, Movie Night Extravaganza, which at the time of this recording, we're just about to start to move into our coverage of the Academy-nominated movies of the year that we haven't already covered. which I'm excited about because there's some good ones this year. Also Hamnet. And I'm excited to talk about those. Josh, you're coming on for Begonia, I believe, if I remember right, which is great. As we slowly intermingle the shows, of course, Sean, check out in the archives, a great episode of Memories of Murder.
Love that movie.
Wildly underrated director Bong film. Movie Night Extravaganza, you can find that on all the podcast apps, all the podcast stuff. Subscribe on YouTube. It's a good time. I mean, I think it's
really fun.
There's a clear corollary between like this show and our show. The only thing is we cover better movies than you do.
Right. By design, we do not.
Today,
by design, we cover much worse movies.
Yeah, like you guys bought the ticket to take the ride on this, which I appreciate. But what I like about this show, because I'm not into shows where people just let's talk about this movie and just crap on it for 2 hours.
Right.
I don't care about that. That's not interesting to me. So there's something kind of cool with this because it's playing with the nostalgia of it, the personal stories of the viewer, so on and so on. Mm-hmm. I think it's very interesting, and I would say that even if I didn't know you guys. I mean, I said that before I even came on the goddamn show.
Yeah. we were like in a mutual appreciation club. Where we liked the thing that the other one did.
Yep. So that's all that was going with me. Caterwaul, June 5th, 6th, and 7th in Minneapolis.
Okay. The dates are firm. Yeah, I forgot.
Assuming ice doesn't burn it down. No offense. In between.
It may happen. Well, I mean, today, there was the threat of the army being brought in.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
By the time this drops, the army may have descended upon fucking Minnesota.
So if not,
we'll be on the lookout for a new co-host, Conan, once Josh is Guantanamo.
Extraordinarily renditioned, yeah.
I don't know when you sleep, Conan.
I'm a pretty busy guy, yeah. Sleep? What's that? No,
I don't.
There's a couple new videos. There's a couple other videos coming for Way of the Neutron, the record we put out last year.
Nice,
but going to be a lot more touring this year as well. And yeah, caterwaul.org. I think at this point, depending on when people listening, advanced tickets are probably up already. If not, they will be soon. That's got to be it, right? That's got to be it. Yeah.
And with respect to like the good movies that you do and the bad movies that Josh and I do on the Unkind Rewind, like we're not picking these. These are your fucking movies that you grew up with.
Dude, this is why
you did this to us.
This is why we program the show the way we program it. And the one exception is that we usually, when someone's on as a first guest, let them pick the movie. And we have a very nice list that's like, hey, any of these.
Great list. I could have done 15 of those movies.
I know. That list is amazing.
I think we do a good job of making putting that level of effort to be low in there. But it may not have the this is the show where we cover this thing. Like my friends Kevin McKenzie have a show called Austin Danger Podcast, which is a loosely curated podcast about not just Austin Powers, but like everyone that has been in Austin Powers or worked on Austin Powers, other movies like tied to them. And the tortured logic is hilarious because they get like way off in the weeds on it. But that's a very specific niche.
Sure.
I think what's like Movie Night Extravaganza, it's just like, well, it's just movies we like. Sometimes we sort them by theme. Sometimes we don't. And the idea is that what we're bringing to it is like it's coming from an informed place, but it's funny and entertaining as well. Mm-hmm. And I think some shows can do one and some shows can do the other. And my favorite shows are the ones that can do both.
Right. Same. Well, Conan, thank you.
Thank you
for subjecting your fond childhood memories of the movie that posits the question, are space vampires the horniest vampires? To the scrutiny of the Unkind Rewind.
It almost felt like we, the humans, are the horniest of all space creatures.
What are these feelings? You want an itemized list?
What is happening to my penis? Thanks, Conan. This was a blast. I mean, I may have gone my whole life without you bringing this to my attention.
Corrected it.
Without you being introduced to Matilda May's talents.
I'm just going to walk in a catatonic funk for the rest of the week.
And shout out to Jeremy, too. for
shout out to Jeremy. It probably doesn't happen without him like trolling the two of us.
Yeah, just innocuously making a freaking one-line review, and
he basically produced this episode.
Yeah, Conan, that means that quid pro quo, you're gonna have to snarkily comment on something of his that brings him back onto the
there we go.
Yeah,
I'll get right on it. Sounds good.
Cool. Well, thanks, Conan and Jeremy.
In absentia.
That was another installment of the Unkind Rewind, mining our childhood for content, one film from a guest's past at a time. Unkind Rewind is a Munchcasts production and can be listened to wherever you download your podcasts and watched on the Unkind Rewind YouTube channel. Music for this and every other episode of Unkind Rewind was composed by Divorcio Suave. Rate, review, like, and subscribe to Unkind Rewind on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Good Pods. Links to all of our social media accounts are in our show notes, but you'll find us as at Unkind Rewind Pod on Letterboxd and nearly every social media platform, all of which can be found at our website, unkindrewind.com. If you have a question, concern, complaint, or feedback, you can email the podcast at unkindrewindpod@gmail.com or call into our call-in line, area code 507-479-6440, and leave a message that can be played on air. Fans should join the Munchcast Discord to discuss this or any other episode of the Unkind Rewind with like-minded people. This dialogue may just make it into a future episode of the pod. The Unkind Rewind Patreon will be coming soon, so start squirreling that pocket change away. Thank you for listening to the Unkind Rewind.